Hello, hello, celestial alchemists. Guenther here with your 13 sign sidereal astrology update for the week commencing the 15th of March 2021. I'm Kel. I'm a life coach and a 13 sign sidereal astrologer, and I use the energies of the celestial body. I draw meaning from them to help us clarify, attune, and then create our mission and our vision for our life and our business or career, whatever floats your boat there. Now, you might be wondering, one, what the hell is 13 sign sidereal astrology? The briefest of brief introduction to that, if you've never heard of it before. Basically, it is referencing the planets in relation to the stars as we observe them on the planet now. I know, shock horror. 99% of the astrology that you will see on the interwebs cannot be referenced directly to the sky as you would observe it from your place on the planet. And that would include your natal sun. So your natal sun is probably different to where you think it might be. And it would be approximately 25 degrees back. So it may have changed signs, come back a bit. If you're intrigued, come and join my Facebook group, Sidereal Stars, where you can learn all about 13 sign sidereal astrology. It is my mission and vision to convert everyone to looking at the stars, referencing where they are here and now in our modern technological scientific age. We're not going to be looking at what the Greeks were looking at. We're going to be looking at what we're looking at. So that's 13 sign sidereal astrology. Yes, there is an additional zodiacal constellation on the ecliptic. It sits in line with Scorpio. So it sits in line with Scorpio just before Sagittarius. The ecliptic does pass through it. So therefore, I include it because, of course, the planets will transit through it as well. Why wouldn't we refer to it? Why just the 12? So that's why we have the 13. Now, you're probably wondering, I refer to myself as a soul service astrologer. Now, it's all well and good that we look at the planets and we go, oh, that's nice, that's pretty. Oh, I'm awe-inspired. Oh, isn't that nice? That's fantastic. It's amazing. All the things that you look at when you look at the sky and astronomy. Okay? However, what makes it astrology is that we draw meaning from it and we implement it in our lives. So the whole idea is soul, spirit, God, the divine is us. It's in us. It's everywhere. It's the ecology. It's nature. It's connection. It's the trees. It's the birds. It's everything, right? We are in connection with everything and we are in service to everything and everything is in service to us. So the point of soul service astrology is to draw meaning from the planets to implement it in your life so that you have a better life. That's what astrology can be used for. That's what I'm using it for, to have a better life. And I'm not just talking about a little bit better. I want us to go all in, deeply connected with the natural cycles, deeply connected with ourselves, deeply connected into connection with our environment and with our most important peoples. And then to create what our soul is calling for us to create in this world. That is soul service astrology. So without further ado, let's talk about the astrology for the 15th of March. And what I'll do is I'll see if you can see how I'm referring to the planets and drawing meaning from it for you so that you can implement it in your life. Easy, easy deal. So this is not astrology just to sit here and have a nice little, oh, that feels nice. I feel good about myself because I read my sun sign stars. I don't do sun sign stars. I started to do them and then realized that it's leaving out a huge proportion of your experience because your sun, yes, one of the most important planets in your natal birth chart, is not the be all and end all because there might be other aspects in your chart that are very powerful and you should be looking at those as well. Then on a collective level, we're experiencing energies and can draw meaning from those energies on a daily basis. And they tend to fit really, really well with our experience and what's going on in the day-to-day. And same with your natal to the transits would be happening if you were to dive deeper in and have a birth chart with me, or to look at your transits for the next 6 months or 12 months. Then you use that energy to create and clarify the life, the business that you desire to live, right? So let's dive in. Today, Mercury moved into, I've got my little notes here, and you'll see I've got this beautiful little diary that I write all my notes in. And this is how, oh God, see, I've already gotten off on a tangent. Anyway, it's journaling. I note the celestial energies on a day-to-day basis, and I use this journal to describe my experience and see what happened. Is it fitting? And it's fitting. Okay, back on the track, Kel, back on track. Mercury has moved into Aquarius. Mercury archetypally is the scribe, the teacher, and the student. So it's really a focus on our communication and our logical mind. It has moved into Aquarius, archetypally associated with rebellion and the unconventional and wild. So maybe there's a slight call now for the next few weeks while Mercury transits through Aquarius to shake things up about how you're communicating. Maybe things need to be done differently. Maybe you need to try a new way. And I just had a little mind explosion as to that happened to me today, this evening, with my 6-year-old, who was very upset, frustrated. I was frustrated and angry, but I didn't want to resort to the way we normally resolve things, which is me yelling and trying to force my will onto him. So this time I tried a different communication style. I tried to communicate to him differently. So there's my experience today of Mercury moving into Aquarius. I want things to shift with how I communicate with him. So I have to take a different pathway. You can't keep doing the same things over and over again. Okay, so that's today. Feel into your experience, how you communicated. Did you have to find unconventional ways, new ways, perhaps rebellious ways to communicate? I know there was a lot of striking and protesting here in Australia around some very misogynistic politicians and women's voices not being heard. So moving on to Tuesday, Pisces moves, I always put I put it back to front. Venus moves into Pisces. So Venus is the lover and the advocate. Advocate. So here's something you'll learn about me is I stumble over a lot of words, but I'm live, so I can't change it. The advocate and the lover moves into the sign of the mystic and that deeper sense of interconnection with everything. And also another archetype I thought of was the shapeshifter, can move between different levels of consciousness. So when a planet moves into a new zodiacal constellation, the idea is the planet is going to express differently. So you may feel a shift in relation to how you relate to people because that's Venus, perhaps how you're attempting to bring justice to an issue, perhaps how you're attempting to bring alignment, harmony to an issue. You might attempt to transcend. You might bring in your spiritual and intuition in an attempt to bring in a deeper sense of alignment for you, a deeper sense of connection. So that's how Venus in Pisces may work for you over the next couple of weeks that Venus is going to be in Pisces. It's pretty nice. That's pretty nice energy. I think they both dig being there. I think that we can all be a bit mystical. I'd like to think I'm a raving mystic. Yes, qualified scientist, master's and bachelor degree, worked for over 20 years, still kind of dabbling in the science industry. And I believe that we are deeply, intimately connected with everything in our environment. That's an ecological law. I learned it at university. And there is a mystical nature to that. There is a spiritual element to that that makes us feel that deeper sense of connection, awe, and wonderment, and can bring us bliss and joy in our life. Because why the hell do we want to keep holding on to this human condition of suffering? We want to be joyful and blissful. I do. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, so that is Tuesday. Now, Wednesday, this is only a quick little transit because it's 2 outer planets that are going to be forming aspects to the moon. The first one is Uranus is going to conjunct the moon in Aries, and Saturn is going to square the moon in Aries. Okay, so this is probably a little bit of a challenge. I would call it a challenging aspect. But the reason we get challenged, or perhaps we get a little bit of an idea to do something differently, our ego mind will go, oh, I'm afraid, I'm scared, I can't do that. Okay. So we have to have our little challenges from now on, or otherwise we'd all stay the same. And life would be pretty boring. So we need to have our little bottoms kicked occasionally to get us to move. So Uranus conjunct the moon in Aries. It's the visionary and the innocent. So they're merging. You have new ideas. You have new visions, right? And they're basically ready. You're ready to take action around them in Aries. But then Saturn, the leader in the zodiacal constellation of Capricorn, the leader. So the leader wants to lead, right? Doesn't really want to listen to these new ideas, these new visions that you're ready to implement. It wants to basically go, right, well, no, we're on a pathway. We've got our direction. What are you throwing me this new vision and these new ideas for? That's not on my pathway. So fear will come up. Now, let me just say a word about fear. When I say fear, the brain doesn't know any different if you are being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, which we don't tend to be chased by saber-toothed tigers anymore. If you are afraid to walk up onto a stage and speak in front of 10, 20, 200, 2,000 people, still the same fear response in the body. The body doesn't know if you have experienced trauma in the past. If you can still relive that experience, your brain and your body will relive the trauma that you experienced. It's all fear. We bring up limiting beliefs, self-deprecating beliefs. Basically, I would call it the mean girl or the mean boy in our head telling us that we aren't good enough, we aren't worthy, we're not smart enough, it's not working, all that kind of bullshit, right? They're just thoughts. And it's fear. We have the same response to those silly little thoughts. And we think they're silly little thoughts, but we have them all the time. We're judging everything good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. And the bad ones leave an impression as well as the good ones. We want to have more good ones to outweigh the bad ones, right? So Saturn comes along and goes, no, you can't do that. No, you can't bring this new idea in that you love with your moon, which is your heart and your soul. No, you can't bring that in. We're already on a pathway. That's silly. Don't be silly. All right. So the idea is to say, oh, dear internal leader, you have an inner leader. It's okay. I'm not going to make a big rapid change. I just want to test it. I just want to take one small step on my new vision. See if it works. I'm not going to go off on a big tangent. I promise. Just let me take one small step. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if it does work out, Saturn, inner leader, let me take another small step towards this new vision or idea that I have. So that's Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, we shift into some sextile energy. So sextiles, they're a little bit less than a trine. So these are easy energies, which is nice, right? Let's have some easy energies. A trine really is you're in a flow state. You've got everything you need, but you've narrowed down your focus to your one thing, and you're so in the zone. You're an expert. You've got all the resources you need to be in the zone and do that thing. Whether it's be on holidays, be meditating, creating a business, standing up on stage, whatever it is, that's what trine energy is. Sextile energy is you may not necessarily be in flow, but there's a feeling of, I have everything I need. There's just a comfortable feeling that comes in, and there's no pesky fears, because if you deal with the fear on Wednesday, then Thursday, Pluto is sextile Venus. So Pluto is in Sagittarius, Venus is in Pisces. So Pluto is essentially life force, and it's this seeking life force. Life force is always seeking to move. It's always seeking to explore and expand. Life force is slightly uncontrollable at times, aka the pandemic, aka sometimes deranged politicians. So life force is seeking at the moment, and it's seeking towards this reconnection with what we are, that we are nature, that we are ecology. Remember what I said about Venus in Pisces? It's the lover and the advocate in and expressing as the mystic. So it's life force calling us, saying you have everything you need to reconnect with that mystical and spiritual part of yourself. So do something on Thursday that allows you to reconnect with that mystical aspect of yourself. Whatever you find spiritual, you might find it spiritual to sit on the grass and gaze at the flowers. You might find it spiritual to walk in the bush. You might find it spiritual to go plonk yourself in a bathtub, somewhere where you can let your mind switch off and you daydream and you let life force just move through you and you feel that interconnection. So that's Thursday. So I've written expand, connect, love, laugh, be. Remember, you are nature. Then the last main aspect for the week, so there's not too much going on Saturday and Sunday, but on Friday, Chiron is sextile Mars. Chiron is in Pisces. Can you see all the Pisces energy building at the moment? Is sextile Mars in Taurus. So Chiron is the alchemist. It's our nature that we have healed. We have healed some aspect of ourselves. And if you don't believe me, I want you to sit there now and think about what part of my life have I healed? It does not need to be huge. And then I want you to give yourself a big, fat, mystical, alchemical hug that you have the power to heal yourself. So that is the alchemist in you. And the alchemist is expressing through the mystic. The alchemist wants to be connected with everything, wants to go back to their God nature. Right? So that's the next level of healing. That is that self-actualization that we're on the pathway towards. So this, I have everything I need. I'm alchemical, I'm mystical, I have everything I need. And then Mars in Taurus is like, well, I can create something here on Earth. I can build. I've got the archetype of the architect. So the warrior, Mars, is action, focus, and direction. Starting to build, starting to create. Art, beauty. I love the idea of an architect, because an architect to me is like Taurus and a little bit of Venus incarnate. They make beautiful art, but it's out of buildings. And if they're a good architect, they fit in with the environment as well. That's so Taurus, very earthy. So you're taking earthbound action. You're taking earthbound action. You're saying, I have everything I need. I'm alchemical. I'm mystical. I have everything I need. And I'm going to start to imbue that alchemy and that mysticism and my spiritual nature into that beautiful earth-based thing that I'm creating, whether it's my career and my life and my business and my family and my connections. And we go back to what I was saying on Wednesday. Take one step. Because you have everything you need. So I think that is the longest live I've done on YouTube for a very long time, but I feel like there was a lot of information in it and I'm super happy and proud of it. So if you do want daily celestial updates and you want to interact with me daily, Facebook group Sidereal Stars is where you can come and connect with me daily. And you can find the link below this video Go and find it, request to join, answer some questions, and I will see you in there. There is a bunch of visionary alchemists, celestial alchemists building in that group. They're all converting to 13 Sign Sidereal Astrology, and they're all starting to learn how to use the astrology to deepen your connection to your soul and to deepen your connection to your service this lifetime. Have a beautiful evening. Bye.